titled The Multiple Intelligence in First-Year Medical Students of a Venezuelan University. The author intended to study how multiple intelligences were manifested in the students of first year of medicine at the University of Carabobo. 215 students were integrated the sample for the first year of medicine. They were assessed using the adult multiple intelligence inventory proposed by Armstrong. So the result of this study revealed that students have an important ability about visual spatial intelligence, bodily kinesthetic learning, musical learning, and interpersonal learning. This means that the educational curricula should change the form of assessment considering other kinds of intelligences. So, in the present project, it is intended to set a relationship between both multiple intelligence and learning styles, and it is related to the previous one mentioned because there is an agreement in the necessity to change teacher strategy in order to get better virtual classroom and effective learning. The following work belongs to Fuentes in 2015. It is about the learning strategies for promoting multiple intelligences in primary school students. The aims of this research was to analyze the learning strategies for the encouragement of multiple intelligence in primary school students. It was intended for students and teachers, and styles, strategies, type of learnings, and type of multiple intelligence were also considered. This is a descriptive, non-experimental, transactional investigation, and the population consisted of 6 teachers and 230 students. However, the sample was the same quantity of teachers but 70 students. The instrument applied to get the data was a structured questionnaire of 60 items with 5 responses. This reveals that the teacher used 3 styles of learning. However, it was recommended to implement strategies that allowed students to develop multiple intelligences. So, according to the present project, there is an agreement with this work due to the kind of investigation and the theme in which teachers should be encouraged to use multiple intelligence strategies to develop these kind of abilities in students. Finally, we have the work of Olivero in 2015, which is about teaching strategy on multiple intelligence for teachers' performance optimization, 4th and 5th year of education general media. This project has an aim to propose teaching strategies based on multiple intelligences to optimize the performance of teachers at 4th and 5th year of the general secondary education in the Bolivarian High School Julieta Sanchez from Lima Blanco Municipality, Cojedes State. The methodology was the quantitative method, and 101 teachers composed the population. The sample was 30% of the population, 20 teachers. The technique was the survey and the instrument was the questionnaire, which was developed in 39 items on the Likert scale with 5 alternatives. It was concluded that teachers do not employ teaching strategies based on multiple intelligences as tools to optimize their performance. It was recommended to promote seminars and workshops to encourage teachers in the use of teaching strategies based on multiple intelligences. Now, the most common aspect between this work and my present project is the necessity of using teaching strategies based on multiple intelligences because it will surely optimize the students' learning. And let's talk about the theoretical basis. So we have 3 important authors. The first one is Howard Gardner, the second is Carl Jung, and the third one is Neil Fleming. So the first one is the multiple intelligence theory by Howard Gardner in 1983. Gardner proposed this theory in 1983, presented a first outline about the theory. He states that all people have different kind of intelligence. According to this author, there are 8 intelligences. However, he has suggested the addition of a new one called existentialist intelligence. Now, the importance of this theory is that the multiple intelligences allow teachers to understand that every student has a wide learning panorama to reach information and knowledge. That is why the theory considers aspects like learning diversity, the holistic nature of learning, the teachability of intelligence, motivation and stimulus appraisal, language aptitude, and personal meaningfulness, and engaged memory pathway. These aspects will be developed deeply during the investigation. Second theoretical basis is the learning style by Carl Jung in 1927. So this theory is based on the work of the analytical psychologist Carl Jung, who developed a theory of psychological types designed to categorize people in terms of various personality patterns. In the case of the process of people learning, this author talks about the learning styles, and he suggests that the styles affect how well students learn under certain conditions. So, some students learn best by hearing information while others learn by best seeing it. According to Jung, he focuses on 4 basic psychological functions. The first one is extroversion versus introversion. The second one is sensation versus intuition. The third one is thinking versus feeling. And the fourth one is judging versus perceiving. This function can also be used to assess and describe various learning styles. Last but not least, we have the VARK learning style modeled by Neil Fleming in 1992. The acronym VARK, which is VARK, is used to describe 4 modalities of student learning that were described in 1992 in a study by Neil Fleming. These different learning styles are visual, auditory, reading and writing, and kinesthetic. They were identified after thousands of hours of classroom observation. The VARK model acknowledges that students have different approaches to how they process information, referred to preferring learning modes. On the other hand, the term learning style speaks to the understanding that every student learns differently. Technically speaking, an individual learning style refers to the preferential way in which the student observes, processes, comprehends, and retains information. Now let's present Chapter 3, which is the design of this research. On the same hand, the techniques and the instruments to be applied to get the data are described in this chapter. So the following presentation deals with the way this project will be addressed according to the methodological point of view. So this one is a quantitative study because its objective is to analyze the relationship between the multiple intelligences and the style of learning in virtual classroom in order to generalize the expected result. The method is the scientific one, and the kind of research is a field descriptive study. So 7 teachers represent the population of this research, and the sample will be the same because of the small number of it. This sample will be surveyed by a mixed questionnaire of open and closed questions, which will provide statistical information about the population in relation to the objective set previously. And the quantitative procedure to be used will allow to get the answer about those objective as well as getting the scientific way which is necessary in every research. Finally, I will expose my final reflections. The first one is learning process, the second different theories, the third one learning a language, and the fourth different ways to learn. The learning process of a language has many aspects that teacher cannot ignore, especially because the focus of the process is a human being. The simple process of learning involves managing different theories which have carefully studied the way people, in this case children specifically, process the information that gets turned into knowledge. Now, when learning a language is like the same process because children and teenagers face not only the task of getting information but also the challenge to understand and translate the information into a different language. Now, it is important and necessary that all the English teachers understand that each of their students have different ways to learn and different cognitive abilities. Last but not least, we have here the references. And I have to say, thank you very much for your attention. Here you can see my name, Creylia Nair Fernandez Piñero, my email, creylyfernandez@gmail.com, and also Twitter @creylyfernandez. Thank you very much, and if you have any further questions, just let me know.